Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 21 video. In today's episode, I'm bringing you guys an LSU themed team. Now, before we get into this video, I just really would like to mention, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like and or subscribe. Really helps out the channel. But I have three things I'd like to mention. We can only draft players from LSU in the draft, and we'll be using real life draft class in the first season. There is no cap room or anything like that. We're just playing with unlimited cap room. Number 3, there is no free agency. And number 4, we're only doing 3 seasons because this team should already be stacked. It's a pretty cool team. It should be pretty fun. So we're going to need to look over the team. So we will do that now with our new coach on the Vikings. So here's the overlook of the team, and obviously it is stacked. Really stacked. Joe Burrow, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, receiving core looks pretty great. Surprised there isn't an X factor here. Tight ends caught lacking. O-line is pretty solid. Defensively, we have Danielle Hunter. Linebacking core is pretty good. Safeties are amazing. Usually you'll find a college that is really stacked out at one position mainly. Alabama, it was running backs and receivers. LSU is going to be safeties and kind of linebackers, I would say. But anyways, guys, other than that, it is time to get to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a win to the Packers, as we are 5-2, top of the division above the Lions. We're doing pretty great. We have some players to upgrade here. I'm just going to let the CPU upgrade them. And obviously, we don't have players to re-sign because there is no cap room. So other than that, let's get to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, as it looks like we're coming off a win to the Lions, as we are 9-7, top the division above the 8-8 Bears. But looking into the stats, Joe Burrow had an amazing year. I think he broke the rookie record for touchdowns. 13th best offense, 10th best defense. Joe Burrow, 4,200 yards, 41 TDs, 12 interceptions. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, only 2 touchdowns. Leonard Fournette had 7 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards. Odell did pretty good. Ball distribution was pretty great. And our tight end had 13 touchdowns. So that's pretty cool. Defensively, Devin White with the most tackles on team. Most tackles for a loss is going to go to 16 for Danielle Hunter. Most sacks on the team is going to go 6.5 for Danielle Hunter. Most interceptions on the team, 2 for Jamal Adams. And most safeties on the team, 1 for Danielle Hunter. And defensive touchdowns on the team is going to be 0. So overall, pretty good season. Surprised we only went 9-7, but we're going to simulate this wildcard round to see if we could beat the Saints in the wildcard. The Saints' worst nightmare is the Vikings in the playoffs, but the Saints win 28-21, as we will lose and not move on to the divisional. So let's just get to the offseason. So here we are in the offseason as the Buccaneers beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That's funny. Tom Brady's beating his old team in the Super Bowl. So which team are we again? Are we the South? No, we're not the East, obviously. Where are we? I'm blanking out so hard. For some reason, I was thinking we were kind of in the AFC for a second there. But Andrew Whitworth retires for us. That is not good at all. I mean, he was like 37, 38, so I'm kind of not surprised by that either. We are an 87 overall team and 87 offense, 87 defense. Joe Burrow, obviously a superstar dev, and he is going to have Gutsy Scrambler, and he's going to have Lofting Deadeye as well. Kind of looks weird in the Vikings jersey, I'm not going to lie. But our tight end now has star dev because his 13 touchdowns on the season. Great for him. And defensively, looking into it, we look the same, so I don't really need to worry about anything. Grant Delpit, I'll move to up into the third string defensive back, and I moved him from free safety to defensive back, obviously, just because he had hidden development, and Tyrann Mathieu was going to start over him. So other than that, guys, let's just get into the draft. So this was our first pick because it was top player available. That came from LSU. Terrence Marshall Jr., 70 overall receiver. Next, we're picking up a more useful player, Tyler Shelvin, I believe is how you pronounce it. 69 overall, nice with hidden development. Came out of LSU, obviously. And this is the team after the draft. So I moved La'el Collins, if that's how you pronounce it, to left tackle. And I drafted this rookie from LSU to right tackle. I guess he's going to get the job done and fill in the position. Not really the greatest person to fill it in, but he's there. And looking into it, everyone else here is looking pretty good. And I'm kind of confident in this team. I feel like it may need to progress a little bit more, but still, let's just get into the midseason mark. Here we are in the midseason mark as we're coming off a win to the Packers once again. We have a breakout QB in Joe Burrow, obviously. And Joe Burrow is going to be an absolute monster if he gets this. He'll move to Superstar X Factor, obviously. I'm not even going to bother to look at it. If he gets it at the end of the season, then he gets it. Looking into it, we have Cody Parkey, the double doink on our team. He came from Auburn, so obviously we're not going to re-sign him. And this dude came from South Carolina. So if we don't have any players that can fill in the position, the CPU will sign them. There wasn't any kickers or punters apparently that came from LSU. I don't know why, or I might have missed something, but still, I just didn't see it. So other than that, guys, I'd say it's time to jump into the playoffs. So here we are in the playoffs, coming off a loss to the Bears as we finished 10-6. I'm going to spend some Coach XP right here on Joe Burrow, upgrade the training boost, and looking into it. We take the division above the Packers, and Joe Burrow had a similar season to last, a little bit not as great, but still he is ranked 5th for MVP race, so that is pretty cool. And 7th best offense in the NFL, 19th best defense though. Yikes, I don't really understand that. 4,100 yards, 39 TDs, 16 interceptions is too much. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 6 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards. So a little bit better than last season. Odell, 1,100 yards, 8 TDs, and JJ with 12 TDs. And looking into it, Deion Jones with the most tackles on team. Most tackles for a loss is going to go to Michael Brockers. Most sacks on team, 6.5 for Danielle Hunter. Most interceptions on team, 4 for Devin White, second string linebacker. So that is impressive, actually. 1 safety for Jamal Adams and Tyler Shelvin, and defensive touchdowns is 0. Little disappointing to see that, but it's okay. So we're going to simulate this wild card round against the Los Angeles Rams to see if we can move on to the divisional round. Can we do it? Yes, we can, beating them 27-21 here to face the 13-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers to move on to the conference championship. We lose 35-10. That was actually kind of a blowout. That really sucks for us. So other than that, guys, let's get into the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Browns beat the Packers in the Super Bowl. It's sad to see how the Packers made it to the Super Bowl and we didn't. But looking into it in the NFC North, nobody retired in the NFC North. And yes, the NFC North is our division. I was just checking there. And looking into it, yeah, we don't need to re-sign either of these guys. I guess the CPU can sign another kicker and punter because, yeah, we just don't have that position. But looking into the team, Odell has Superstar X Factor now, but Joe Burrow did not get that breakout challenge. He gets Yak 'em Up. And defensively, looking into it, Tyler Shelvin now just has Star Dev, but Dante Jackson now has Superstar Dev with Flat Zone KO and Deep Route KO. So that is pretty cool. And we will get into one more season, and then that will be it for this theme team because there's only 3 seasons per theme team because the team is already stacked and we've already made the playoffs in the first 2 seasons. So let's just get to the draft. Here we are in the draft as we were picking up a right end, Martin Brown, 70 overall, normal dev, top player available. But here we are after the draft, not really much on the team. We're just focusing on progression, I would say. The draft and the offseason is just really hard for these theme teams, but I'm not going to complain about it too much. But this team looks pretty good, and once again, I think it's playoff ready. So other than that, guys, I'd say it's time to get into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we're coming off a loss to the Patriots, apparently. We had 3-4. That doesn't make any sense. 3rd in the division behind the Lions and the Packers. And we have some players to re-sign, such as Armon Watts, Thaddeus Moss. What is this guy? He came from Arkansas. I guess the CPU signed him. Thaddeus Moss, I guess I'll sign him. I mean, this is the final season. I don't know why he's wearing number 7 either. That looks weird. But, yeah, he resigns. We don't need any of these guys. I mean, this is the final season. I don't know why I re-signed him anyways. So, other than that, guys, I would say it's time to jump into the playoffs. And somehow we didn't make the playoffs, but coming off a win to the Giants, as this will be an unsuccessful theme team with LSU. I mean, Alabama won. I'm not surprised by that. Packers take the division at 13-3. Joe Burrow had another great season, 8th best offense in the NFL. The defense keeps holding us down at 19th, even though it's a pretty good defense. 4,300 yards, 37 TDs, 15 interceptions. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 8 TDs, 1,100 yards, best season. JJ with over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, great season for him as well. And Deion Jones with 108 tackles, most on team, tackles for a loss, 15 for Danielle Hunter, most sacks on team, 14 for Danielle Hunter, having a great season finally. 5 interceptions for Pat Pete, that's insane. Safeties on the team is going to be 0, and defensive touchdowns on the team is going to be 2 for Pat Pete. Wow, that's insane. Did he get best DB of the year? I would assume he would have. Josh Allen wins MVP. And best DB goes to Jalen Ramsey, but Pat Pete at number 2. So that is a disappointing way to end it. But still, it's a very fun team, very cool team to do. I didn't want to do 4 seasons because it seems way too overpowered with the team that's already stacked. I mean, Alabama was way too stacked. So I think we made the Super Bowl twice with the Alabama team and won one of them. But it's insane. This team is still fun to do. Comment which one you want me to do next. A lot of people said do Michigan State. I was trying to do it, but Michigan State doesn't really have enough players to complete an NFL theme team for this franchise, man. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys all enjoy this theme team. And apart from that one, guys, I'll see you guys all in the next one.